Imagine being one of the world's most powerful media moguls, yet finding yourself in a legal battle of your empire's future. Imagine having the power to hire, fire people, yachts, private planes, jets, underground tunnels in your house, but you have no control over who gets what when you pass away. That right now, today, is what Rupert Murdoch is going through. One of the dumbest decisions he made in his life was doing this structure in his business and why his empire may fall when he passes away. We're going to go over those mistakes and what you can do if you got $100,000 or $1 billion to protect your family, to make sure when you build wealth, it doesn't go all away because of a dumb mistake that you make while you structure your assets. So who is Rupert Murdoch? Well, he is the owner of the Wall Street Journal, but he's well known for being the owner of Fox News, Fox Soul, and anything else associated with Fox. He is the owner of that. So needless to say, he has a lot of money. But Rupert Murdoch had a recent estate planning blunder that has left many questions that has not been answered. How could someone so powerful make such a critical mistake? And why did Rupert Murdoch's attempt to save his empire, save what he created, backfire? And what does this mean for you when you structure your trust and create generational wealth? Well, we're going to give you 3 steps on what to do if you have $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, or $1 billion. The 3 things you can do to not be in this huge blunder that Rupert Murdoch finds himself in right now. Before we get started, as always, like, subscribe, share to our channel. In real life, I'm a certified financial planner. We manage over $250 million in assets, but on these social media airwaves, we give information. This information is going to allow you to transform your finances, structure your money, and make sure you, at the end of the day, are a lot better than in the beginning of the day. You guys ready? Lego! You see, Rupert Murdoch's first mistake was setting up an irrevocable trust. Number 1. Big number 1. When you set up a trust, it should be a revocable trust, not an irrevocable trust. And this is why. You see, with Rupert, he aimed at consolidating control under his eldest son, Latham. But that was thrown out by a Nevada probate commissioner. See, the court found that Murdoch and Latham acted in bad faith, attempting to shift control of the family business to Latham, excluding all the other beneficiaries without them knowing about it or not giving their consent. And see, that's a huge no-no, because with a revocable trust, you can make changes. Well, with Rupert Murdoch, his irrevocable trust, you cannot make any changes. Once something's created, it's law. It's done. No changes can be made. So Murdoch was a little bit sneaky. But how did it get to that point? Well, I believe you have these greedy attorneys thinking that they're doing the right thing for their pockets. Most individuals, when they sit down with attorneys, they are offered revocable trust or irrevocable trust. What we have seen is that sometimes they're leaned in a direction of setting up an irrevocable trust because it helps with taxes. You can get away with shielding taxes. Now, with Rupert Murdoch, a little bit different, right? Because he, first off, from Australia, but second off, had over $12 million. He's a billionaire. 98.5% of individuals have less than $12.9 million. Now, your question is, what does $12.9 million have to do with anything when it comes to doing a revocable trust that you can change anytime that you want to? Now, an attorney might cost you to amend it or change it. We'll get to that. How you can bypass being charged when you change a revocable trust. Or you can do an irrevocable trust where you do it one time and there's no changes. Well, that $12.9 million, that is called the death tax exclusion, also known as the federal estate tax exemption. So what is that exactly? It is the amount of a person who passes away their estate that can be passed to their heirs, their beneficiaries, and is tax-free before any federal estate tax kicks in. Now, I said $12.9 million, but in 2025, that expanded. Now it's $13.6 million per individual, or $27.2 million per married couple. This means if you're single and your estate is worth less than $13.5 million, or if you're married and your estate is worth less than $27 million, you owe zero taxes. So because of the death tax or the federal estate tax exemption, why would I create a irrevocable trust like Rupert Murdoch did and be in a situation where I can't make any changes? I'm in my right mind. Can I make changes on what I want to have happen to my money when it passes down to the family? Not if you have an irrevocable trust. So many mistakes Rupert Murdoch has done, in my opinion, but the biggest when he set up his trust is he did it as a revocable trust. Now he's a little bit different because he has a lot of stuff going on. So the legalese that structure the stuff, because of him having way over, right, hundreds of millions of dollars, told him otherwise. But the average everyday person, and you guys are all not average, but average when it comes to assets, because 99.3% of individuals have less than $27 million. That is why we don't do a irrevocable trust. No reason to. You are cutting the opportunity for you to control your assets. There's no reason to. You are cutting your hand when it comes to controlling your assets when you're living and when you passed away. That's the first Rupert Murdoch mistake when it comes to building and passing down wealth. Number two, the second mistake that he did, and we see all the time, helping people create their trust and building wealth, they put everything on one person. Rupert wanted everything to go to his son, Lathan. He wanted him to control everything, oversee everything. He has another child that, is on the left-hand side when it comes to politics. And we all know Rupert is on the right-hand side. He wanted his son to make all the decisions, not the rest of the children. In theory, okay, because he might think that the child is more responsible. But in actuality, with family dynamics, that is a horrible, horrible decision to make. And here's why. How many brothers and sisters get along? A lot. How many brothers and sisters get along when it comes about their money? You can answer that. You guys know right now, either in your family or families, when it comes to money, things go left. Things go sour. Things go off board. Now, you pass down $500, $600, $1 million to family. And that money goes to one person. How do you think the other family members are going to feel? Are they going to feel good about that? Or are they going to look side-eyed? Why did he get all the responsibility to make decisions? Why did she be the one can tell me how I can spend the money that my family gave me? You think that's going to be a contentious family reunion? Or is it going to be a roasting marshmallows by the fire and everybody's happy type of family reunion? Y'all know the answer to that. And I have seen it myself in our investment practice. Last year, had a client, Lord rest his soul, passed away, didn't set up a trust even though it was recommended to him. And guess what happened? He left $3.5 million to one person. One son, had two daughters and another son. Well, guess what happens? He In the will, did have a will, not a trust. You should have a trust. We'll talk about that here shortly. In the will, he's supposed to divvy up everything. On his retirement accounts, one beneficiary. Guess what happens to that one beneficiary? He has to now sell those investments when he gets them and then divvies the cash. If the money is in a retirement account, guess what happens to that individual? He gets taxed. Okay, it's taxes. Well, on $3 million, if everything is supposed to be split up 25% a piece, that means $750,000 to this person and $50,000 to this person and $750,000 to this person. Who's responsible for taxes on that? You think that's an argument? Why I gotta pay you money? That's not my business. He gave it to you to give it to us. You want to talk about raising your taxable income. You see, with the retirement account, an IRA, a 401k, traditional IRA, what happens? It gets taxed as income. You're not taxed on the gain that it made. It's taxed as if you punched the time clock and made, in this case, a lot of money. $2.2 million to be exact. How do you think his tax bill is? Good or bad? Anything over $500,000, guess what's happening? High tax bracket, 40% tax bracket. You think his taxes was good or bad? He owed himself a lot of money, and he had to chase down his own siblings to get the money. Is that good or is it bad? So the mistake that Rupert made and that you should never make is, oh, I'm going to give this to one person. He or she will take care of it. That is one of the worst things that you can do when you are setting up your estate, your insurance, your beneficiaries for your financial accounts. You do not want to do that. So mistake number 2, putting everything on one person. Huge no-no. But then it's number 3. And number 3 is something that people regret while they are living, and things that are definitely regretted when the beneficiaries receive the money. And what is number 3? Well, number 3, they structure their assets properly. In Rupert's case, he structured his assets improperly. You see, for every single asset that you have, it should have what we call limited liability. And what protects that? A limited liability company, or LLC. You see, with the LLC, that limits the liability when it comes to creditors. Murdoch, as you guys know, his company got sued a lot of money because of the fake news that they put out. Well, because of his assets all being under a couple LLCs and not under multiple LLCs per business while he's living, he's regretting that decision. Hence why he wanted a person that he thought was sharper in his son to make sure those mistakes would not happen ever again. So how do we structure our business? How do we structure our assets? Number 1, every single property that we have should be in its own LLC. The reason why? Liability. You got everything under one LLC, they sue that LLC. If we have multiple LLCs, they can only sue that one property where a person slipped and fall. That one property where the dog got out and bit the post office person. It reduces the risk of something that we cannot even fathom thinking about happening. That is how we structure it. Number 2, when it comes to insurance policies, making sure those insurance policies go to the trust, not to a person to divvy it out. Structure things properly. Number 3, retirement accounts. Don't have that go directly to a trust because now it is taxed. If we have in our trust for beneficiaries, well then in our retirement account, each beneficiary should be split 25% apiece. If you want it that way, 50%, and then you spread the rest however you want to do it. You do not have your financial K, traditional IRA, 403B, 457. That should not go into the trust as a beneficiary. That should actually go to the people because it's a taxable asset. Insurance, beneficiary to the trust. Bank accounts, non-retirement bank accounts, beneficiary should be the trust. That is how we structure things to make sure if something happens with our LLCs, everything is in good order because now the LLC is inside the trust. The trust says what to do. Sell one LLC, give one LLC to one person. You catch the drift. That is how we structure things properly. So if we get sued, it won't crumble our whole empire. And with Rupert Murdoch, even though he's a billionaire, a mogul, his LCs was not structured properly, and he had to pay a hefty, hefty, hefty fine for fake news. So today, you've learned the mistakes of a well-known billionaire. Even the ones with a lot of money and a lot of lawyers can still make mistakes. But today, we showed you why, number one, doing a revocable trust is the way to go. Number two, not putting everything in one person is not the way to go. And number three, how to structure your assets properly will give you less gray hairs, less headaches, and allow you to build wealth the proper and protected way. I hope this was great information. We're here to help you scale your business. Our digital estate planning platform, the Relax Estate, allows you as a business owner to have your clients do trust, wills, and power of attorneys. You add value and you get compensated for helping your clients save money. Because lawyers are one of the worst liked professions by non-lawyers. More people would rather get their teeth pulled than actually meet with an attorney. So if you're a business owner, since you're adding value to your clients, you're helping them grow their finances, you're helping them with their taxes, you're notarizing their documents, you're helping them with their insurance, you should be the one that gets compensated for them doing a trust, a will, and a power of attorney, not a state attorney that they don't want to deal with. And for the clients, they pay a lot less. The average trust is $2,300. You, using the Relax Estate through your business professional or through us at the Relax Estate, are paying far less than $2,300. But like, subscribe, share to our channel. We continue to grow. We continue to help you and add value, which is most important to us. You guys be blessed. Peace.